tin fans. We have a 1995 Yamaha Wave Venture that we purchased yesterday. Did not have a trailer, so had to put it in the back of the pickup truck. And now we're trying to figure out how to get it out of the pickup truck.
It's in pretty good shape. Has a Yamaha 760 in it. Very nice retro graphics. This is going to be Amber's chase jet ski for when I have my stand-up jet ski out. So it's in really good condition. Definitely a little bit dirty, but as you can see, we have a little bit of a problem here getting it out of the truck. So we're going to do our best, prop you up, and see what we can do to get this thing out. Side. Premium she is down there. She's clean. Back here on day 2 of working on this jet ski. I'm going to show you a couple of things that ended up doing here. Didn't get a good job filming. It's way too hard to get down inside there. So all the fuel lines and all that kind of stuff on this thing are rotted to pieces and old. So as you can see here, that's one of the fuel lines. It's hard and brittle and all that kind of fun stuff. So took out the fuel selector switch so that I could easily get to all that. As you can see here, put some new Tygon fuel lines on there. That's my favorite stuff to use. Never had an issue with it. Lasts for years. But what you can kind of see up under here is had to take out the fuel sending unit with the gas gauge, and then also had to take out the fuel pickups. The fuel pickups is the closer one, so ended up getting that out of here. It was kind of a bear, to be honest with you. So that's sitting right here. As you can see, had some old fuel line on here to begin with. We'll get those clamps off the top and put some zip ties on there, and then it's encased in this piece here. Just had to be careful. Actually had to disassemble it in the ski to be able to get the whole unit out. It was a little bit easier to get to from the front. You can see it. Just hard to do. Had to have 2 people in there holding everything. Tank does have a little bit of goop down inside there and a bunch of different rust, but what I wanted to show you guys, this was the fuel sending unit. Ended up cutting it off, so you can see after 30 years of sitting in gas how nasty this thing is, and the rubber has started to deteriorate. We have another jet ski. Similar thing happened, and all that goop ended up in the tank once we put gas back inside of it. So ended up just preventatively taking it, cutting it off, and we're going to try and get some of that stuff out of the tank. There's the actual fuel line that was on the bottom of the fill pickup, so replace that again with some Tygon, and we're going to get this back in here, but we got to figure out a way to get some stuff out of the tank. So I don't know if you can kind of see down there, but there's a bunch of crap and rust and things like that in the bottom of the tank, so we're gonna have to get that out, probably do shop vac and try and swish it around a little bit, but making a little bit of progress here. Waiting on the carburetor kits for this thing. They should be in tomorrow, so we can get the carburetors put back together, hopefully get some fuel to this thing and get it fired up. As you can see, it's in really good condition for its age. It literally still has the original, you know, grease and stuff like that that I could see on the carburetors. Everything works smoothly, turns smoothly. It's in excellent condition. Like I said, just got some worn out stuff, needs a new battery, and all this fuel line and fuel hose and stuff like that. It's just dry rotted and brittle. I mean, for 30 something years old, it's lasted quite some time, but it's ready for some new stuff. We ended up going through this process on the last jet ski. He was trying to cut some corners and ended up, you know, breaking down out in the middle of the bay. and had to bring it in, tow it in, and just redo all this stuff anyways. So like you can see, just going to preventively do all that kind of stuff right now so I don't run into any issues in the future. But yeah, that's it for today. It's raining out here today, so just trying to get a couple of quick things done, but I'll show you that thing again. If you got an older ski, I'd probably highly recommend getting that fuel sending unit out of there quickly. That's what's going to clog up your carburetors and stuff like that. That's what happened on the last jet ski, as a matter of fact. And that stuff was really hard to get out of the bodies of the carburetor and fuel pump and everything. It actually clog up. I didn't realize what the issue was, and it would clog up the fuel filters within 5 minutes of running. It would run great. You know, you'd fire it up, go rip it wide open a little bit and ride it around, and then all of a sudden it would die like it was a fuel problem. And I spent forever trying to figure out what it was, and then I ended up cutting open one of the fuel filters and seeing all that black, nasty gunk and looking like grease inside the fuel filters. It was because the fuel filter would clog up instantly with that stuff. So like I said, if you got an older ski, specifically Yamaha, and got these fuel things in there, I'd probably get rid of them. I'd definitely go through your fuel lines and all. It's going to leave you stranded one day for sure. So what I wanted to show you guys real quick was just what's coming out of this tank. As you can see, it's just nasty globs of stuff. What that is what I showed you guys the other night. That's basically this fuel sending unit here. The rubber's degrading down there in the bottom, creating like a nasty muck in the bottom of the tank that's really difficult to clean out. So what we're trying to do is just kind of spread it around and clean it as best as we possibly can so it doesn't get sucked up into the carburetors. But as you can see, that's nasty and sticky, disgusting. But trying to get it out so we can get this thing back together and put some fuel in it. What we're going to end up doing is pulling the oil injection off this motor. I don't love oil injection personally, just one more room to fail. So we'll pre-mix our gas. On the Yamaha 701s, the oil pump's located right here on the front of the motor, right underneath the stator and the flywheel. There's an oil tank here with a feed line going down to it, and there's 2 lines that go to each carburetor. We're going to end up pulling that off and replacing it with a block-off kit. So there's 2 bolts that hold it on there. It rides a little flywheel key. Basically, and then there's a block off plate that I ordered here. Kind of hard to see in the packaging, but I'll take it out here in a second, with 2 bolts. So pretty easy to do, but wanted to keep you updated on what we're doing here. We'll get this blocked off and then probably gonna pull the carburetors back off, to be honest with you. It was bogging pretty bad actually right off of idle, and then when you hit it, once it got to the high RPMs, it seemed okay, but for some reason it had a really bad bog. So gonna pull the carburetors back off. I think it's the springs that I put in there, those new Mikuni springs. The pop-off pressure is probably not right. It's a little bit too high. So I'm gonna try those other springs that were in that kit. If you guys watched the first video, you can see I was going back and forth on which ones to put in there. So I was able to get that oil pump off. So if you guys ever want to block off your Yamaha 701 760, all you got to do is take out this little oil pump here. Like I said, it rides a little spline. It's got a little spline keyway on there that spins when the flywheel spins, and it's locked in there. It's got 2 oil lines, one to feed each carburetor, and then the main oil line that goes into it. So what I usually like to do is get rid of that, because that's one more thing to fail. You put a little block off plate on there, so it's got 2 little Allen screws with some lock washers on there. You put that on the front of the timing cover, as you can see down there in the bottom, with 2 small screws, and then just block it off and pre-mix your oil. So it's really as simple as that, guys. Nothing to it. Emma and I are back here cleaning the carburetor. So our Mikuni jet kits, or excuse me, carburetor rebuild kits came in. I would definitely go original Mikuni on these. I would definitely not cheap out and get the Amazon ones. I've done that plenty of times and they don't work. So just spend the money on the Mikunis. They're like $60 versus $10 on Amazon. So if you never put these things back together, they can be a little bit time consuming and a little bit I don't know, infuriating as well as intimidating. So there's a lot of parts in here. I don't know if you can see this on the camera. It's really small, little tiny thin pieces of plastic. Then when you get into the other side and rebuild the fuel pump side, there's plenty of other little parts and pieces in here. Amber can show you there's a lot of stuff in here. Like I said, can be definitely a little bit intimidating. We got the carburetors back on. We're gonna try and fire this thing up real quick, just kind of a test fire. Got some kind of ghetto rig gasoline and filters and stuff like that, but we're gonna see if she'll start real quick. So let's see. been struggling with this jet ski here this afternoon a little bit with the carburetors. Definitely had a fuel problem, so rebuilt the fuel pump side of the carburetors. Was sitting here taking a second to figure out what was going on. It seemed like the jetting was wrong, to be honest with you. As I'm sitting here having a beer, I realized that the numbers on the side of the jet ski forgot they're in Michigan. They probably had this thing tuned for Michigan and sea level, and where we're at sea level down here in Florida. So I moved the main jets in just about a quarter of a turn, so I'll fire this thing up for you guys. She sounds a little bit better. It had a really bad bog, so fire it up.
Hey, if it stays